actually in London, just returned yesterday, where a group, about 100 Malaysians, staged demonstrations after demonstrations, singing Yellow Submarine outside every place the Prime Minister visited. The Prime Minister, yes, Malaysians. The Prime Minister visited and hosted a dinner at Intercontinental Hotel. So outside the hotel, the protesters decided to hold placards. I wonder what the 6 EO detainees are having tonight. And the police actually, instead of beating them half to death, they showed them the best place to stage a demonstration. I got this first hand. I cannot tell you who, but one of the protesters told me, you see, you have in France, their efforts to fight against the culture of impunity. In Malaysia, they support the culture of impunity. Now, in terms of the culture of demonstrations, because our rights as Malaysians, it's enshrined in the Federal Constitution to peacefully assemble and peacefully, in terms of expressing our views. And the police in London actually advised the protesters, no, you don't wait here, you must wait nearby the door. I bring you there. So, of course in English accent lah. Let me bring you there. So, while you wait over there, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Home Affairs, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, all had full view of the demonstrators dressed in yellow. Okay? This happened outside Intercontinental Hotel. This is the sort of police force we want. They said don't shout, you just, don't shout too loudly, but they can shout. So they shouted, Hidup Bersih, Hisham Salim. And they sent Anifah Aman to go and meet and greet these protesters. And Anifah Aman, of course, was being very, very friendly. And then they asked, when are you going to release the 6 EO detainees? Do you know what his answer was? This is our foreign minister, okay? Very important portfolio. This is our face to the rest of the world. His answer was, ask Hisham. He's inside. And then they asked again, when are you going to abolish the Internal Security Act? Another pause. He looked pointedly at the supporters, at the demonstrators, serious, and said, ask Hisham. He's inside the hotel. This is our foreign minister, so just to showcase, when Zuna said there are clowns, I don't know, maybe part-time job. I'm really suspecting this might be the case. It was really funny when she was telling me the incident, but it's also very sad because I think Malaysia and Malaysians deserve more. And you can laugh about this, and it is very funny. It's also very tragic. Because as you see, Batin Najib didn't have time for holiday, but Hisham did. And I managed to catch a glimpse of him before he went to another class in the plane. And it's just very, very sad that we've really come to this stage where even for such an amount of investigations, even then the demand for investigations is not even entertained by the powers that be. And of course, following up that is the UK's hacking scandal. And I know in Malaysia there's very powerful media conglomerates, but in my life I never imagined that the UK Parliament, specifically its Culture Committee, the MPs could interrogate Rupert and James Murdoch. Which, you want to compare that with Bernama, Berita Harian Media Prima, come on, they're like filthy billionaires. And not just that, this whole, there's a movement in the UK against the culture of collusion to the police force, politicians, as well as the media, as well as, against the culture of impunity. And I think no system in any country is perfect, it's far from perfect. But the issue is, how do we make sure the voices of the rakyat and the stakeholders and civil society, civil institutions, are the voices that actually come up from the different scandals or difficulties that might emerge. And of course, eventually Rupert Murdoch renounced the acquisition of B Sky B, which UK's bouquet of satellite channels. I'm sorry to digress a little bit. I just want to mention the differences, and I'm sure a lot of the scandals will be mentioned in greater detail by YBK Chua. But all I want to say is, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of everything, at the end of tonight, we must understand, we must realize that at the end of the day, the struggle will end at the ballot box. And my greatest fear is not that Pakatan Rakyat will win or lose. For me, that comes secondary, because when I see this movement, when I see this effort, which I was part of in 1998, I realized that the most important thing we can have in any country is the independence of our institutions, the independence of civil movements. These are the safeguards to our democratic future. So we must continue this work. Yes, political parties are important, they are part of it. But for me, what's more important is when elections come, it is conducted in the freest and fairest manner. And I do not want, please memorize the 8 demands of Bersih. Please memorize the 21 days of campaigning, reforming the postal votes, ensuring independence of civil institutions, no more buying, no more cheating, and the use of indelible ink during elections. Now, my fear is, by 2013, the first quarter of 2013, according to the Nomura Research House, we will be faced by 3.2 million new voters. Now, I will not accept biometrics until and unless they explain to us what it entails, how the system works. Are you sure that the entire electoral roll is not tainted? Only indelible ink ensures against multiple voting. And this is a clear fact. And we've already spent so much money on this submarine scandal, not to mention Eurocopter, etc. We don't need to spend more money for a system that will benefit, I'm sure, 1 or 2 UMNO cronies. This is the biometric system. It goes without saying. So I urge all of you, yes, we end with dinner tonight, but please, the demands of Bersih, and we must make sure that we don't back down from these demands. In 2008, it was supposed to be implemented 3 days before our supposedly independent election commission. Deputy Chairman goes on record saying that their job is to maintain the government of the day. 3 days before, the decision was revoked under cabinet orders. The same thing can happen for the upcoming general elections. So, we must be clear. Even if you want to vote the government of the day, fine! Make that mistake, go ahead. But the point is, I want to make sure, even to the UMNO members or UMNO supporters, if there are any, please, you must fight for a free and fair electoral system. And I just want to maybe dedicate a short message as my closing to our beloved Prime Minister, also to Hishamuddin, who's our Home Minister, because I didn't get a chance to talk to him in London. He walked away very fast. Now, my dear Prime Minister, Ministers, fear will only lead to anger. And your anger will only lead to hate. And hate will only lead to the rakyat suffering. And in the end, you will forever belong to the dark side. I don't think anyone watched Star Wars. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.